So yeah, I guess just to kick it off, like just an update and zoom out a little bit on what's happened in the last year. So Raga 2024 was in about this time of year. And I think it can be pretty easy to forget just how much has changed in a year. So cursor wasn't really a thing yet. I'm not sure the words vibe coding had been coined yet. That was less than 12 months ago. And I certainly couldn't have predicted it. I didn't predict what would happen in the past year. And I'm sure a lot of folks here maybe are at sort of a later stage in their business. It's changed in a different way. But from our perspective, the change in this industry has been gigantic in the last year. And it shows in our data. So in the last year, this is not a RevenueCat brag, by the way. This is just what's happening in the app economy. It's doubled. The number of apps hitting the App Store per month in the last year has doubled. And I'll say, like, year over year, we've definitely accelerated. You know, every year more apps are shipping than the year before, but never has it accelerated like this before. And I'll definitely give some credit to my wonderful marketing team. Like, it's been a little bit us. But it's clear that a couple things have changed. One, it's just easier. I'm gonna say easier to make apps. So everybody who already was making apps is making more apps. Apps can just do more. People have more ideas than ever before. And then I think more importantly, and like maybe most excitingly, is the profile of person who can make an app has just gotten drastically bigger. It's probably doubled. And that's really what excites me because, you know, our mission is helping developers make more money. That's our like direct focus. But really at the end of the day, you know, we just have a deep belief in software's ability to improve people's lives and do good things. And so the more people working on problems with the leverage of software, like, achieves our greater mission. So it's awesome. Now, what that means, I think for everybody who's been in this industry a while, is it's getting both more exciting, more dynamic, harder in some ways, because we have so many more entrants. So I think what was maybe, to me at least, felt somewhat like not stagnating, but sort of, you know, it was incremental. Every year was different, but sort of like in a predictable amount, is no longer the case. I think the amount of change we're going to experience in the next few years as we go through this transition is really high, and I think that's requires everybody to be like on their game. So anyway, that's that. What have we done this year? We've shipped a lot of stuff. So the number of things we've delivered in the last year has been a big step up for us. The RevenueCat team continues to grow. We're now over 100 people. I think at this time last year we were maybe like 60 or 70, and we're growing very, very quickly. Because we just believe there's so many things that we have yet to attack and build for. This is just some of the things. But I thought I would talk about a few of the things we shipped this year, talk about why we're excited about them, hopefully get some feedback from you all about it, et cetera. So 4 things I want to talk about. These are like 4 big categories. Some of these are fixing gripes. Some of these are like total net new categories. And then we'll talk about some new stuff that's not on this list. So let's talk about Paywalls V2. So last year at Raga, I announced we were working on Paywalls V2, lovingly called, because there was and is a Paywalls V1, which was popular but had some limitations. And so we got to work on this. We shipped it earlier this year, and people seem to like it. So we have 5,000 apps are already using the new paywall system, and we've created over 50,000 paywalls, and it's accelerating. It's become very standard for new apps using RevenueCat to use the paywall system, and we're slowly moving more and more of our existing apps over to the paywalls, and we're improving it every day. So actually, I may regret this, but I'm going to try to do a live demo, okay? So bear with me. I have rehearsed it, but you never know. You never know. So let me just show the Paywalls product. If you haven't seen it before, I'm actually going to start with sort of something we just shipped. But if you want to create a paywall, you can start from scratch. It's a full like UI editor. It's like Figma for apps with purchases or something like that if you were to describe it. And you can start from a template. We have like a bunch of templates you can like start from. You can start from just a blank canvas if you want to do that. But have you all heard of artificial intelligence? We just added this, which I think is cool. So you can start from an App Store URL using artificial intelligence. If you paste in, I'm going to paste in Flighty. I think Ryan's here. Ryan, I didn't ask for permission to do this. I figure I will ask for forgiveness. But if you just paste in your App Store URL, you can select a template. We'll go with this one. And by the magic of artificial intelligence, it will start generating a paywall. Now, it takes about 90 seconds because we have to spin up like 4 gigawatts of power to be able to pull this off. So I'm not going to sit through it. I'm doing the Julia Child. Oh, there's already one in the oven that's finished. We'll pop over. Where is it? Right here. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, artificial intelligence. Can you believe that? But this paywall is real. I generated this yesterday. It's the worst version of this so far, and also the best. But generated the image, the text, pulled it from the App Store, description. It's just a really good way to like even shorten that time if you haven't used Paywalls, shorten it up even more. Now we wanted to get something ready for Raga to show because our long-term vision is that we should be able to kind of vibe code paywalls a little bit, right? You should be able to have an agent, like a conversational design experience. Figma's doing this really well with Make. A lot of the apps are doing this. We're building that. This was sort of like the first foray into that, and we're excited. So next thing I want to show, so this looks like it's a great paywall. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It'll probably convert really well. Now, but it's a little dry. So this image is good, though. So I went ahead, and I'm like wondering if we can add a little bit more excitement to this. We have a video component now. This was like my top tweet of the year was, hey, we're doing video on paywalls, but I want to show you, it's real. So we'll just add this video component here. We'll go in here. I used another artificial intelligence tool, Grok, to turn this image into a video. And oh, look at that. Beautiful. Now it's going to loop really janky. Don't look at that. Close your eyes. It's going to okay, forget about that. We can fix that in post. But you get the idea. We have video paywalls now. It's pretty sweet. So, and I think again, I'm going to talk about just how much things have changed. Like producing that video would have cost you $10,000 like 5 years ago. And now it's very easy to put something together. You can do 50 versions of it. You can and so giving you the tools to then also embed and use this as a marketing leverage. Anyway, we're not done with paywalls yet. We have one more demo. So that's video. So one last thing, let me pull up a paywall here. So one of the key technical decisions we made with paywalls was we didn't want them to be HTML. I have no problem against HTML. It's great. It's the best markup language I know, or one of the best markup languages I know. But I'm a big native snob, and I believe there's just something about when a UI is running in UI kit. What do they call it now? Just Swift UI, whatever. The native rendering on both Android, iOS, whatever. It just feels just a little bit better, just tiny little tells. So anyway, we took the time to build our paywall system that way. So you design it. This is obviously like a web view, and it's in a website. But then it gets turned into our own internal markup language, sent down to the SDKs, and then rebuilt and rendered using native components. And we believe that was really important to getting the best paywalls experience possible. Now, that does have a limitation that it doesn't necessarily work on the web until now. So I want to show you that now, it's not live. It should be this week, next week, Josh. Something is, okay. Very, very soon, it's real. Paywalls that work on iOS and Android with RevenueCat billing now, and this is real, automatically just work on the web. So you can clap. That's exciting. And this is part of a broader roadmap for us because obviously the web is just becoming more and more important. Our billing product is becoming more and more advanced. And we believe that the platform should really melt away. Like you should not have to think about, oh, is this an Android thing? Is this whatever? It's all just drag on your commercial operations. So you can design one paywall. You can still design a paywall specifically for the web as well. It just gives you another single place to design all your points of sale. So anyway, that's my paywalls demo. Nothing went wrong. It was almost perfect. And yeah, there we go. Thus ends the live demos, so I can relax now. Cool, we'll go back to the slideshow. So that's paywalls. Lots more to come. Charts. Okay, no demo here, but I think potentially more exciting. So charts. It's one of our most popular products. RevenueCat's always been build, analyze, and grow. It was our initial slogan. We've tried to get away from it over and over again, but we keep coming back to it. And analyze kind of pretty much always meant charts. It's important. Numbers are important. Numbers, how they change over time is important. And so, and you all believe that. I tried to find a good stat for charts, but 2 million views on charts this year. And there's only like tens of thousands of RevenueCat developers. People look at charts a lot. And we've known this for a while. Our charts, the way our charts were built and presently are built, we had kind of built ourselves into a technical dead end. There was a bunch of stuff that people wanted that we weren't able to do. And we had to go back and over the last year rebuild our chart system, basically our whole data pipeline system from scratch. I'm excited to say we've pretty much done that. It's almost done. And we're about to release real-time charts. Woo! I know you all love looking at charts, wondering why is this out of date? Why don't I see the purchase that just happened? When is this? How old is this? Let me mouse over the little tooltip. I know it's one of everybody's favorite features. Unfortunately, it's going away. Now you're going to see, as soon as a purchase comes in, instantly the latest data point will be updated. And with the system we've built, we're starting with charts, and quickly, I think over the next 3 to 5 months, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but every number in RevenueCat will be drawing off of this system. So I've seen the tickets, they've come in for years where one number will slightly differ from another number, and it's mostly just because of pipeline timing. That will go away, so it'll be much more consistent. I'm very, very excited, at least from a support perspective, not to be confusing people anymore. Now, this system also enables some really cool stuff that I'm excited about, just because of the way it's built. We're also able to do much, much more segmentation. So, you're now able to segment and filter charts on custom attributes. So, that's an exciting one. I don't know if anybody, that's huge. So, we couldn't do this in the old system. It would make the computers fall over. We have new computers that are better. If for folks that don't know, you can set a custom attribute at a customer level. Now you'll be able to pull that data out in our charts without having. Before you had to export everything. It was bad. It was a bad customer experience for our customers. Now it's all there. And along with this, not only are you all able to do custom attribute segmenting and filtering, we're able to add a whole bunch of other stuff that's already in the RevenueCat data world. So attribution, we're gonna be putting more attribution charts together. We're able to unlock a ton of asks on the data side that have just been queuing up and it's been difficult for us. Those are all gonna start coming very, very quickly. So anyway, very excited about this. It was a huge investment. We're almost there. I hope my folks on my team who worked on this are watching. Thank you. It's in beta now. If you wanna try it, there are some bugs, but it is real time. And you should be rolling this out to everybody by the end of the year. So very excited about that. Customer Center, quick hit here. This was a thing that we've built in the last year. So, one of our RevenueCat's magic powers is that a lot of our apps, our customers share a lot of problems. B2C consumer subscriptions, support is a real thing. You have lots of relatively low ACV customers, potentially low technical sophistication, and support is I'm gonna say it's a problem. It's a reality, and the reality is most of your support comes from subscription issues, right? Where's my subscription? How do I cancel? I want a refund. When do I renew, et cetera. So we realized this, and we built Customer Center. So Customer Center is a management tool. It's like a whole system, but in the most concrete, it's a page you can add to your app that automatically handles a whole bunch of customer support cases. And the dream being is we can, well, both help you prevent churn. So like at that time of somebody wanting a refund or somebody changing their subscription, like right now, they would go probably into the settings to do it, and you're gonna lose a lot of context there. We're trying to like make it easy for them to do that within the app, because they're potentially gonna churn anyway. But like if they do it from within the app, you have opportunities to prevent that churn. So we have hooks to allow you to prevent them with a retention offer, to collect feedback. So why are you churning? Is it too expensive? Are you not using it, et cetera? But then ultimately too, just front run a ton of tickets. So, we make sure we push the user to exactly where their subscription is. We show them how to cancel, like all that stuff, which is just your most repetitive tasks. And the folks that have added this say they see massive decreases in their inbound tickets that they actually have to handle. Here we go, one line. I'd have to show code. I would be a sellout. I would not be myself if I didn't show some code. But one line of code gets this thing in your app. And there's there it is in the flesh. And yeah, it's pretty simple, straightforward, solves a bunch of problems. If you haven't tried it, I think it's probably better than most of everybody's subscription management pages in their app, or at least competitive. So try it. It's just one of these things that like nobody jumps out of bed being like, I can't wait to improve our like subscription management page. You know what I mean? So let us do it for you. And then ultimately, we've added also, if you're using Zendesk or Intercom for support, we added integrations with those. So right now it's pumping RevenueCat data into those platforms. So you're like, while you're doing support, you can see the RevenueCat data. You don't have to jump back and forth. That's a new thing we added. We have apps in both Intercom and Zendesk's app stores. But ultimately, we think we're gonna help mitigate more and more of the support problem going forward. Okay, short one here, virtual currency. Maybe it needs a punchier name, but a virtual currency, it hopefully makes sense. So if, think, what is the audiobook app? It is Audible, credits model. If you want to sell coins, packs, tokens, one-time things, it's another one of these problems that's not incredibly difficult, but it actually has a lot of edge cases when you start to add it up. So it's like, what happens when somebody refunds? What happens when somebody uses all their coins and then refunds, et cetera? So we built a virtual currency system. It's a little buried. We haven't promoted it a ton. But we kind of have a thesis that this is another one of those like monetization tricks that you might not try just because the initial activation energy of like building it is really high. So if you can low risk try it using RevenueCat, I'm not gonna promise it'll work, but I think it's worth trying. And so I just have one screenshot here. It's pretty Spartan, but the idea being is like you create currencies, not shown here. You can attach basically a price, like associated products and sort of granting schedules and say like, okay, this product grants 15 stars or whatever. That's the first half. So we manage the in-app purchases and the granting securely. And then we also manage the ledger. So then you can like manage your balances, spend, consume, grant using like secure backend APIs, and that's all built, all done. And so you just have to figure out how you want to integrate it into your app. So we're trying, if you're thinking about it, it's technically still in beta. We have a bunch of customers on this now. It's rolling out of beta in the next month or so. But pretty cool. I think it's worth a shot. If you've been talking about it, now's the time to build something. Okay. Let me grab a drink of water. That was all the stuff we have delivered, at least that I thought was worth putting slides up about, or just to be somewhat entertaining. Now I want to talk about some new stuff. That's the worst. If that's the worst thing that happens in my demo, that's pretty good. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about some new things. RC Capital. So what is RC Capital? So there's one of the biggest challenges, I think, and I think a lot of folks in this room are in this position, is managing cash flow. A lot of apps rely on paid user acquisition. Margins can be very thin. Cash flow can be very tight. And there's reasons for that. it can be, your cash can be tied up for months. So you're the developer on the right here. Let's say you acquire a bunch of users. You pay $1,000. It's going to take a few days for that to get deployed into UA. It's going to take a while for those users you acquire to then convert, or then download the app and even have a chance to convert. Then they might start a trial. That trial might take days, weeks, a month. And then the most painful one, probably, is that Apple and Google kindly hold your money for a very long time. The App Store, depending, you can earn a dollar on the App Store and not see it for 6 weeks, in the worst case scenario. And so when you add all this up, it's months of time that developers are floating capital into the system before they can get that capital back out and reinvest it. So that's why we're building daily payouts. The idea being, you can clap, it's very exciting. It's very exciting. Daily payouts, I'm gonna see what my next slide is. Yeah, I don't know. So the way this works is we have a very good sense of how your product is monetizing, and what we're gonna do is essentially buffer out that gap by providing 80% of what you made next day. So if you make $1,000, you're gonna receive 80% of that the next day, less the modest fee. I believe it's modest, you tell me. And that's how it works. That's it. You click a button, you get approved, and you go from these famine and then this big dump of money, and then you spend it all. And the idea being is that with sort of more liquid capital, you'll be able to, if you have a campaign that's working, take it, reinvest it, run that campaign all the way out. You'll have that money much, much sooner. And I'm hoping that this will just lead to net GDP growth in the app economy. That's the hope. So this is very new for us. This is decidedly not just SaaS. I joke that the first 8 years of RevenueCat, all we did was transform JSON. And this is a totally different thing. But we're very excited about it. So part of that, it's gonna be a little bit of a slow rollout. It's going to be available in the US for US entities later this year. We're going to have to figure out a lot of stuff as we learn more. It's our goal to ramp this up to as many developers as we possibly can. So we're very excited about it. We hope it works for folks. Please give us feedback. If it's something you're interested in, come find somebody in a red shirt or a shirt that says RevenueCat on it somewhere. We're excited. So daily payouts. All right, one last thing. No. One final thing I want to talk about. So I think it was, again, Raga last year where I went from I've heard the term web to app, one of those, web to app. And I was like, what is this thing? Who's this guy, Nathan? What is going on? And then I heard it got louder and louder and louder. And we were like, okay, I think this is probably something we should work on. But I'll be honest, we kind of took our time because we wanted to build it the right way. And that took a little bit of pre-building our web billing product. You've seen Paywalls. But we're excited to announce what we're working on now is coming early in next year, is RevenueCat Funnels. So there are comparable products I'm sure you've all used. But I'm excited for what we're building and why we're building it. So RevenueCat Funnels, so if you've used our Paywalls, I think the easiest way to imagine it is, what if you could take Paywalls and chain them together? Now you have RevenueCat Funnels. But as you can see from some of the stuff I showed today, the Paywalls product now is available on the web. It's not a far leap to see how that becomes a chain of paywalls, which now becomes a fully configurable, web-managed onboarding experience for customers. You can convert, you can bring them over to the app. We'll be supporting all of the standard onboarding stuff, surveys, information. It's fully remotely configurable. Branching, it's going to be the Ferrari of web to app onboarding experiences. So we're very excited about it. We're probably going to be, if you're interested in working with us on it, let us know. we'll probably have some stuff to try towards the end of the year. And then I think next year it'll be available, early next year for general availability. I think that's what my next slide says, coming Q1 2026. There's always a next quarter. I hope that's exciting. I don't know. You tell us. You tell us. That's it. You survived the timeshare pitch. Now I bring out the high pressure close. No. That's it. That's done. How much time did I? Oh, good. I left everybody some extra time for their break. But I'll just say one more time, thank you to everybody who's here. Thank you to everybody that has helped produce this. Thank you to all the speakers. There's some crazy stuff going on later today. There's like an esports paywall building competition, which is not a chain of words I ever thought I would put together.